less. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear in the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1,500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Over to You, a show for the people, by the people. My name is Wayne Caesar, and I'm going to be your host for this evening as normal. It's good to see everyone. I hope everyone is having a productive weekend thus far and would have had a productive week. Okay, I know across the Northeast region of the United States it's very cold, and also my colleagues out in Canada. It is extremely cold out in Canada. All right, welcome everyone to the program. Everyone on the ground in Guyana, North America, Europe, welcome. The continent of Africa, welcome. The broader Caribbean, welcome to Over to You, a program for the people, by the people. While you guys go ahead and, share the link to your program and like your program, I am going to do today's roll call. Well, we do have quite a few things to discuss. I can tell you off the bat that we will be here for about an hour and a half this evening, so until 8:30. All right, so lots to talk about, and I look forward to you guys participating and look forward to your input also. All right, it's a two-way conversation here. All right, let's start with today's roll call. Miss Yvonne Rodriguez, a pleasant good evening to you. Welcome to the broadcast. Puran Ramdas, good evening. Region 2 is in the house. Yes, Region 2 is in the house with Puran Ramdas. Beatrice Selby, good to see you. Good evening to you. Miss Sandra Hanover. Yes, Miss Sandra Hanover. Yes, we are both freedom fighters, both you and I. Lawrence McKenzie, pleasant good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. Miss Pam Halls, good evening and welcome to the broadcast. Miss Desiree Smart Felix, my first Canadian in the house. Good evening to you. Welcome to the broadcast. And right behind you, we have Miss Mary Figueroa, the second Canadian in the house. Good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. Patricia Asano, welcome to the broadcast and a pleasant good evening to you. Angela Ben, good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. The Honorable Mr. Victor Ben, being the third Canadian in the house, welcome to the broadcast. Sir, it's a pleasure having you. Look forward to your inputs this evening. Beverly Ann Romaine, welcome to the broadcast. Jackie Cameron, welcome to the broadcast. Angelique Abrams, good to see you. Welcome to the broadcast. Miss Darkus John, good to see you. Welcome to the broadcast. Paula Jones, welcome to the broadcast. Miss Deslyn Wilson, by way of Victoria, welcome to the broadcast, who resides in the United States, of course. Miss Maxine Monroe, welcome to the broadcast. Lawrence James, welcome to the broadcast. Ewart Eastman, good to see you. Welcome to the broadcast. Miss Sharon Griffith, good to see you. Karen Clark, good to see you. And a pleasant good evening to you both. The Honorable Miss Denise Booker, is good to see you this evening. Yes, over to you. It's going to be hot this evening. Miss Denise Booker is in the house. Beverly Ann Romaine, don't know if I call your name. I might have, but again, good evening to you. Mr. Jamal Aziz, good to see you. Good evening, sir. Queenie White, good to see you. Good evening to you. Desiree Richardson, good to see you and good evening. Judy Bascom, good evening, good to see you. Maud Oliver, Avril Grimmon, good to see you both. Good evening. So True Hector, welcome to the broadcast, my brother. Good evening to you. Peter Gibbs, good to see you. Sharine, good to see you. Shamir Ramat, good to see you. Good evening, comrades. Enjoying your program. All right. Well, we're going to get on with it just now. Sarah Z, welcome to the broadcast. Jacqueline Seadock, welcome to the broadcast. Joy Phillips, Morna Saul, welcome, 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 everyone. If I miss your name, I'm very, very sorry. Norville Berkshire, welcome to the broadcast. Gail Samuels, welcome to the broadcast. All right, I think I've gotten everyone who've checked in thus far. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Well, we see what is happening in Guyana. We see what continues to happen, right? Democracy is being infringed upon. The Constitution is being used to mop the floors and, I guess, wipe the glass mirrors in the homes of the PPP. All right? Constitution don't have any meaning at the moment. Democracy has been long gone. All right? Democracy was shot dead August 2nd, 2020. Shot dead was democracy. Okay? I don't know. I see the opposition has placed out there a call for the people of Guyana to fight for their democracy and to hold the PPP accountable for their democracy. While I welcome the call, it's a great call. This hasn't just started. Okay? There have not been any rules of engagement between PPP and opposition parties. Right? The PPP has made all their decisions unilaterally. The only time that the PPP choose to engage the opposition is with regard to the Venezuelan issue. Well, now that's going to be a non-issue for a bit, unless we see Venezuelans start crossing over into Guyana. Right? Being chased from their nation and crossing into Guyana, that's going to be a non-issue. Because we know that Nicolas Maduro no longer sits at the helm in Venezuela. So now there's nothing that the PPP will need the opposition for. All right. Where are we? We are the 17th day of January 2026. No talk of an annual budget as yet. Because a budget, you cannot present a budget with the opposition leader plays a massive role in budgets. Right? The PPP cannot unilaterally put together a budget and present it without some inputs from the opposition. Right? And the opposition leader playing a part in that whole process. So basically, democracy is on hold in Guyana. Right? Democracy is on hold. And what I've seen is a lot of people have beaten around the bush on this issue, that democracy is on hold in Guyana. Democracy is on hold in Guyana merely because the PPP refuse to convene parliament, because they are of the belief that Azruddin Mohammed is going to be voted leader of the opposition, and they don't want that. We don't need to beat around the bush on the issue. That is exactly the issue right there. But here, what is my take? Is why allow Azruddin Mohammed and the Win Party to contest elections if you know that if this party end up having the most seats in the opposition, that you would give them a difficult time putting their leader in place. These are the type of issues that concern me greatly when it comes to the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. It's a real backward nation. Victor Ben is saying when they are afraid. Well, you know what? I'll say this, Mr. Ben. Yes, they are afraid. They are afraid of themselves, because Azruddin Mohammed would have emerged from the belly of the beast. Okay? The only thing Azruddin Mohammed has known all his life has been the PPP. Him, his father, and the whole family. The PPP would have gotten into power in 2020, backed 100% by the Mohammeds. Okay? Backed 100% by the Mohammeds. The 23 years under the PPP, they were backed 100% by the Mohammeds. Yes, the 23 years of extrajudicial killings and all of these, yes. Yes. Here, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. That ain't going away. That ain't going away. That can't be forgotten. I just see it. People, I want you to know. I'm not you guys on this show, but I want people to know. I see your comments. Oh, that's in the past. This is now. Oh, yeah? Let that would have been your son or your brother or your cousin or somebody. Your actions would have been different. Your actions would have been different. So no, like I said, your actions today determines your tomorrow. You can't want to do something today. You back in a government that is just killing people, and then tomorrow it must all be forgotten. I don't think that's how it works. And I hope that's not the way that the Guyanese people are expecting it to work. All right? Let's have some morals. Let's have some values. Okay? Let's put some value on the human life. All right. We continue. Let's continue. Thank you, Mr. Elliott. And by the way, happy belated birthday to Mr. Ernest Elliott. This is a great gentleman. You know, he would have served in Parliament back in the LFS boredom times. All right. He's responsible for the Golden Grove market. All right. Played a big role in the Golden Grove market. The Golden Grove playground was fenced in 1973. Thanks to Mr. Ernest Elliott. He played a massive role in the whole design and construction and everything of the President's College, that the PPP is allowing to run down to nothing right now. All right. So Happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Elliott. And thank you on behalf of all my viewers here for your service to the Guyanese people. And yet you still continue to serve, you know. So we thank you. 81 years young. 81 not out. There you go, Mr. Elliott. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we continue. So this whole thing with not wanting to convene parliament, again, it is based on Azruddin Mohammed being the preemptive, you know, leader of the opposition, because he has 16 seats in parliament. If somebody has 16 seats and another party have 12, it's obvious that the party with the 16 seats have the advantage, okay, given that all 16 people from the Win party will vote for their leader. All right, that's case closed. All right. The PPP sees this. They don't want it. All right. Azruddin Mohammed has done a pretty solid job of exposing, you know, things about the PPP. Right? He's been doing a great job, I must say. But while I say that, I want to say this to the people, that a lot of the things that Azruddin Mohammed is saying now, all right, we had members of APNU calling these things out. Loud. And you know something? Nobody picked them up. Nobody picked up the issue. All right? I want to say something to Guyanese across the board. All right? It doesn't matter how much money a man has. All right? Facts are facts. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. Facts is just as good coming from a poor man as it is coming from a rich man. All right? You guys seem to pick up everything I want to run with everything that comes from Azruddin Mohammed's mouth. But when it comes from anybody else's mouth who doesn't have money, you know, you're like, to hell with them. Well, I'm going to say this to you guys. As rich as Azruddin Mohammed may be, he cannot give out a cash grant to every single adult Guyanese. So as much as he's rich, he's still not rich, right? He's going to depend, when he gets into office, he's going to depend on the funds that are coming from the government. He's going to have that at his disposal. He's not going to use his own money. So I just want everybody to get this correct, because a lot of times we look at things and we miss points. We look at things and we miss excellent points that are right before our eyes. Sometimes we miss it conveniently because we don't want to bell the cat. Look, when we're talking about the Guyanese people, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about serious business. This is serious business. We can't play around. Right? What the APNU, what APNU is calling for, and you know what? While APNU call for the citizens to stand up and hold the PPP accountable, I would have loved for this to be a broader challenge coming from the entire opposition, standing together. 29 is more than 12. All right? So as long as we continue to have these internal battles where we have standoffs in the opposition, on the opposition side of the party, on the opposition side, ladies and gentlemen, Guyana ain't going anywhere. Everything is at a standstill. I could tell you guys one thing though. 900,000 barrels of oil continues to be extracted daily. That I can tell you. That doesn't change. That does not change. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see, since this oil finding, and the fact that we start extracting oil in 2020, here we had an opportunity where the PPP could have engaged the opposition. They could have come and the PPP could have said, hey, look, you guys going to help out in these capacities. Let's work together. Because we got to make this oil revenue work for all Guyanese. All right? This have to be a situation where the Guyanese people are able to benefit on a macro level as opposed to on a micro level. But what we did, we allow ego, we allow racist behaviors, right? Among so many other things to shape our policies and to shape our decision making. (2021 to 2020, 2021 to now). That's the oil boom in Guyana. That's the oil boom. I don't know how long it's going to continue this way. GDP cannot continue to grow in the 19s and in the 20s. That's not how economics work. Okay? And Venezuela oil is going to soon start saturating the market. That changes everything. Okay? That changes everything. So to the Guyanese people, and I agree with Apnu, you got to come out and you got to challenge the PPP. Do not allow them to walk all over your constitution, to mop the floor with your constitution. Do not allow them to infringe on your democracy. They have done so. They have done so many times. Right? I don't know what position you guys want to take. If you guys want to take a Sri Lankan position, if you guys want to take an Iran position, I don't know. Right? You guys got to know exactly what you want to do. Because this is serious times. A Syria position, a Libya position, a Bangladesh position. What type of position you want to take? A Madagascar position and a Myanmar position? Whatever position that you as Guyanese take, okay, nobody cannot question your position. You know why? The data is there. The evidence is there. So you don't have to worry about anybody with their big guns coming and saying, oh, they're going to shoot you down and all this kind of stuff. You don't have to worry about that. Okay? You know why? Because the oil, that 900,000, is going into their country. While in your country, you have 60% living in poverty. Right? About 35% in extreme poverty. That's the data right there. So you can't do no wrong. You could do absolutely no wrong. But Guyanese, what is becoming shameful is that you guys continue to sit and watch a few, a micro demographic of your nation. Okay? Because macro would means the masses. And micro, meaning the PPP, their friends, family, and favorites. These guys are getting rich overnight. While you guys sit down. These guys are building low-income homes that are not even occupied. And it's calling 13 million for a home. Where's the job? Where can a normal born and bred Guyanese afford 13 million? Basically, what they're doing, they're pricing you out of your own country, and they're putting you in a position where you have to depend on your family in the diaspora to send that money to put down on home and to do all this stuff and to even help you with your mortgage on a monthly basis. That's what is happening. While you see ministers are showing up with apartment buildings right, left, and center. Agriculture minister and son showing up with mansion and all these kind of things. I'll say one thing to the opposition. The females in the opposition are ladies. The men in the opposition are gentlemen. This 13th parliament here, you guys got to step out of that and take off your gloves. This here 13th parliament. Because as much as we want to hold the people, the PPP accountable, you have to hold your representatives that is going to parliament equally accountable. You can't go in there and act like if you're soft. You can't just keep writing letters. I have said it before, take the people to parliament. Let the people come to parliament with you. Stephen Richard Bamfield. Let's talk about what will happen to black people. Stephen Richard Bamfield. You saw what happened this week with that young 13-year-old being shot. Now, what he would have done is absolutely wrong. It's ridiculous. It's outrageous. Robbing an 81-year-old? Really? At 13? At 13? Should have been in school. He should have been in school. What does that come down to? Okay, you can only blame the parent so much. You can only blame the parent so much. You cannot put 100% of that blame on the parent because you don't know the situation of the parent. Remember, we are talking about Guyana where 60% of the nation is in poverty. What that young man would have done there, perpetrated, is wrong. But when you talk about poverty, poverty, cause and effect, ladies and gentlemen. Cause and effect. Where are the programs? Well, where are the programs? Irfan Ali just drove in that Morris Oxford that was in the museum supposedly belonging to Forbes Burnham or associated with Forbes Burnham into a new hotel compound at Ogle. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard me. A hotel compound. You think that hotel is built for people that are 60% in poverty? Come, we're gonna talk real tonight. We're gonna get real here tonight. All right, because when we on Over to You, we don't play around. We get real. Okay, we get real. Was that hotel built for Guyanese? They are 60% in poverty. What we could have done, and it's not government building, but I'm just saying, these are the type of investment that these guys open their eyes to and they support. And sometimes, for the most part, they have a stake in the ownership. Like I said, we got a lot of investigations to do. All right? Good. Let's continue. The monies that were used there for that hotel, or the waste that the government continues to waste could have been used to build centers for these young people. You know, when you get out from school, you need somewhere to go. You know, there are some parents in Guyana that work in 2 jobs and all these type of things that gotta really hustle. They're working a regular job, then they're cleaning somebody's house or they're doing something to try to make ends meet to keep the house afloat. So therefore, they're not always home to have eyes on the children. One can be home to have eyes on the children all the time, but when it comes around for tea, breakfast, and dinner, and there's nothing to put on the table, then what happens? So it's a two-edged sword. The PPP Irfaan Ali wouldn't know about this. His children have maids, bodyguards, and everything that they need. You got to get into the normal Guyanese household, to the normal impoverished Guyanese household, and watch how a woman goes out and go to the market and try to make a 30,000 or 25,000 work. Correct, Victor Ben. The PPP is not interested in nation building. That is true. The Guyana National Service has been disposed of. Sometimes, listen, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes at 13, a child already knows that he doesn't want to become a lawyer, he doesn't want to become an accountant, he doesn't want to become an economist, he doesn't want to become these things. I want to work with my hand. I want to make blocks. It's just a fact. These things just happen. There are some kids who they're just not interested. Oh, I want to be a farmer. But I don't want to worry with the whole education side of it. I want to be a farmer. What are we supposed to do with them? Tell them that they don't belong to society? We have to have institutions for these young people where they can be further taught and edified. They don't want to be in the normal high school system. Patricia Sano, you're too much. You are too much. Now, Patricia Sano, hear what Patricia Sano is saying, ladies and gentlemen. That these young people need to start selling chocolate at a young age. That's what Patricia, and you guys already know where she's coming from already with that comment. No, you need to go to some kind of technical school. You need to continue to be edified. You selling chocolate, first of all, I know how you're going to get the chocolate because you're rich. Right? And you selling chocolate ain't going to put you in a position like Susan Rodriguez. It is not. Susan Rodriguez did not get into the position that she got into by selling chocolate. But Patricia Sana, I got your point clearly. Very, very clear. To be shot at 13 is quite traumatizing. Brothers and sisters on this program tonight, I want you to go back. I want you to go back and try to recollect at 13 what you were doing. And if you guys want, you guys can drop it in the comments. You see, and these are the type of things that will separate Desmond Hoyt and the late, great Lyndon Forbes, Samson Burnham, from these goons that you got sitting in government. These guys are garbage. These guys are garbage. People don't want to call it as it is. These guys are garbage. What sits in government currently is a waste of the time of the Guyanese people. It is utter garbage. No. The Jamaican Prime Minister, Mr. Andrew Holness, would have given a lot of credit and congratulations to the Guyana Defense Force for the job that they've been doing out in Jamaica with the rebuilding and the whole recovery process after the hurricane. That is welcome. That is welcome. And I must say kudos to the good cadets and officers of the Guyana Defense Force. You're still underpaid. The PPP should be ashamed. Omar Khan, you should be ashamed. You're at the hem of the Guyana Defense Force. And you're not paying your people. They're not being paid up to par. But while I say this, ladies and gentlemen, I say here's an opportunity for the government to go ahead and build a strong Army Corps of Engineers. Yes, Guyana is capable, right? With the Jamaican Prime Minister touting the excellent job that the Guyana Defense Force has done, we are very capable of having a strong Corps of Engineer group of the Guyana Defense Force. I further say this, and no hard feelings towards Jamaica. It's our neighbor. They are our family. Okay, CARICOM family. And we are supposed to look out for each other. But I say this, when we had the flooding and the disaster around Linden, Irfan Ali, you, Mark Phillips, you especially, you Todd, you guys from Linden, where was that Army Corps of Engineers? Where was the army to help those people? Right there in Guyana. When the rice farmers are having difficulties with flooding and all these things, where is the army to help them? When we are having breaches of our own sea defenses, where is the army? When Georgetown is flooding after a 15 minutes shower, where is the army? But you guys are looking to build external relationships. So just in case there's an election or anything and there's a delegation coming from Jamaica, they're going to come favorable to you guys because what? You guys are building relationships with these Caribbean countries. The opposition don't get that opportunity. And this is where the opposition needs to open up some opportunities. They need to start writing to world-renowned organizations about what the PPP is doing with democracy in Guyana. You need to start writing. The people needs to take the streets. Come on. Look at your brothers and sisters of Bangladesh. Look at Sri Lanka. Look at Myanmar. Look at them. Look at them. And then look at the courageous people of Iran. Where about 3,000 of them were executed by their own government. Let me say this to you Guyanese brothers and sisters. You guys are building a regime just like the one in Iran. You see how these guys got their paramilitary security groups and the Guyana police force working for them? They're working for them. I see some back and forths going on in the comments. I must say this. I don't care which leader you are. If you have baggage, you have baggage. If you have baggage, it's going to be, we're going to talk about your baggage. Like I said, when you're doing your actions today, you should be thinking about what tomorrow is going to bring. You don't behave and act for today only. There is going to be a tomorrow. And you are going to have to answer for tomorrow. There are some people that don't like certain leaders for you to say nothing out of your mouth with regards to them. or else they are ready to curse you. Well, here, I'm the guy. Come and curse me. I am the guy. Come and curse me. Come and curse me. Hey, look, facts is facts. Okay? Facts is facts. Why should we turn away from what is factual? All right. Let's continue. Look out. Them ain't come for you by Monday. Who coming for me, Tessa Smith? Who coming for me, Tessa Smith? Who is coming for me? There's nothing. There's nothing on me. I'm as clean as they come. Everything I do is with integrity. My moral values are through the roof, man. I don't play the games. If I'm going to do something for the people, I'm going to do it for the people. And I'm going to do it honestly. If our politicians across the board in Guyana could be as honest as I am, Guyana would be in a great position. Orin Del Best. Yes, charity no longer begins at home. No, Orin, you're correct. Charity begins with the Guyanese people money going into their pockets. There's where the charity begins. Charity begins with evading taxes and evading this and smuggling this and doing all kind of stuff. There's where the charity begins, brother. That's where the charity begins. And some Guyanese want you to sit down and take that type of lawlessness. Here, ladies and gentlemen, you want a change in government? You can't change from corruption to corruption, so you got to figure out something. Or we're saying, you're going to change from corruption to less corruption? Thank you, Mr. Victor Ben. I will resist the devil. And yes, he will flee. The devil ain't going to conquer here. All right? The devil ain't going to conquer here. Thank you, Miss Bonita Montague. And a pleasant good evening to you. Democracy cannot continue to be eroded in Guyana. Okay? Something has to be done. The Speaker of the House has flown out and gone to India. How long is he going to be in India? Right? And everything is on hold in Guyana. And you're saying that the people mustn't take the streets. I believe that the people should take the streets. And if in doing so, it obstructs oil production, so be it. It's not about ExxonMobil. What the hell? We got about almost 1 million people in Guyana. What are you saying? An oil company is more valuable than 1 million lives? I beg to differ. I beg to differ. To the PPP, I say this. Principle is principle. Okay? You guys know that you guys had a problem with Azruddin Mohammed. All right? He should not have been allowed to have a party and run. But there was absolutely not an issue with him having a party and run. So why now should there be an issue at the 24th hour with having Parliament convene to have an opposition leader elected? It's a process. It has to happen. It has to happen. You can't wait till now to try to talk all these things and bring up all these issues with Azruddin Mohammed. No. Because it's like you throwing a glass brick at a glass house and you living in a glass house. What's the difference between you guys and him? Tell me the difference. If he doesn't deserve the right to sit in parliament as the opposition leader, then you guys don't deserve to sit in parliament as lead party. Because I don't see any difference between you and him. The process must happen. The process must happen. And external forces must not infringe upon this process. Guyana has a constitution. Guyana is supposed to be an elective democracy. Right now, it looks to be an elective dictatorship. And I'm going to even go forward and call it a full-blown 100% dictatorship because GCOM is controlled by the PPP. So therefore, we cannot call it an elective dictatorship. It's a full-blown dictatorship. Where the PPP makes all the decisions. And people are worried, oh, Barra Jagdeo is sick. Who cares? Who cares? 60% of Guyanese is in poverty. That's what I care about. I care about macro issues. Macro. 60% is macro. One man sick is micro. Who cares? Has that one man been a positive impact on the people, made a positive impact on the people of Guyana? If you ask me, that one man plays a massive part in 60% poverty rate. Guys, we're gonna sit as a collective and we're gonna see what the process is gonna look like when you talk about the holding the PPP accountable when it comes to our constitution and when it comes to democracy. We're gonna see what it looks like. Because I believe now it's time for the talking to stop. It's time for the talking to stop. And ladies and gentlemen, you wouldn't believe how dissatisfied. I'm not talking about the current opposition, but I'm talking about those 23 years, and I'm talking about the last 5 years. You wouldn't believe how dissatisfied I am with the opposition. Because they have allowed the PPP to dictate all the terms. They've allowed the PPP to harass even us, voices of dissent in the diaspora. Mark Benchcott, Rickford Burke, Melissa Atwell. Those are the three. Those are the three. That's the three targets. That's the three targets right there. Yeah, don't come around me. Don't come around me. You don't want to come around me. I'm not the guy. Don't do it. I warn you in advance. Don't do it. You guys see that I don't play with y'all. There is no playing. We don't come and crack jokes on this program. No playing. No time for that. All right? No time for that. No time for that. But to the opposition, see them, you see like that little 13-year-old who was shot. I'm not boasting about myself, but I have a tendency to be great with young people. And I believe, especially in the Black communities across Guyana, the Afro-Guyanese communities across Guyana, we need to have strong role models for our children. A lot of people may want to blame that mother. A lot of people may want to blame a lot of different things, but I think where people fail to lay blame is on society itself. And that will extend out to government. So while people like to hold their egos and like attention, because I've noticed this, and I've noticed this in the opposition, people love attention. Well, if you want attention and you want the focus to be on you, get into the communities and edify these young people. If you don't want the focus to be on you and you want the focus to be on somebody else, or you want help, you understand me? Get out there, right? And fight so that your people in the diaspora is able to come and assist you. You guys were in power from 2015 to 2020. And there's no way that voices of the PPP could not have come to Guyana. They could have came to Guyana. Look, we got strong people who's very, very strong with young people. My good brother who's on here tonight, Victor Ben. Dennis McKenzie, I don't understand your post. Add a little more to that for me, please. Add a little more to it. Let me see where you're going with that. Because you're asking me to relax. So I want to know why you're asking me to relax. I can't relax when 60% of Guyanese is living in poverty. You see, some of us, we're in good positions. We're living our life and all this. Everybody, look, life, there's a shelf life on life. Everybody wants a good life for themselves. But just like how you want a good life for yourself, you must want a good life for others too. You must want a good life for others too. This is what this is about. I'm not looking at, I'm going to get some credibility. I'm going to do this and then I'm going to be able to fill my pockets. No, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. Nobody, you'll never hear somebody say, Wayne Caesar took this. No, never. Never. Don't need it. This is about the people of Guyana. This is about macro equity for the people of Guyana. Right? Everybody. No matter your race, creed, class, gender. Okay? Equity for all. That's what this is about. No egos involved. If I was ever on the ground in Guyana and they had a project that we were digging drains or we were cleaning drains or whatever, you'll see me right there with everybody else. What makes me special? I don't look at anybody as special. We got to help each other. As my good brother, Mr. Victor Ben, always say, Wayne, we got to lock arms. We got to lock arms. I believe that's what the APNU is calling for. But it should be a broader call. I wasn't on last week, but the week before I had a program, and then the next day, Melissa Atwell came with a program where she had some of the leaders come on in an attempt to get everybody to start working together. Because I believe the night before I would have mentioned on my program that if they don't come together, no chance. If they come together late, no chance. All right? You come together now, greater chance. You come together later, no chance. You don't come together at all, absolutely no chance. Know that. Nobody has shown an ability to be able to raise money. The PPP is using state resources for campaigning. It has been proven during the 2025 election that a large sample size of Guyanese have lost their marbles. They have lost their morals. They vote according to money. They sold their vote. So what is that now? That's a massive issue. That's a massive issue. Now you're saying, basically what you're saying is that you cannot win an election without raising enough money to be able to pay people. Imagine that. While that, like I said, 900,000 barrels is going out every day. Eventually, oil is going to be very close to non-factor in our economy. But could we look back and say when we were going through the oil boom, we injected money into all of these other industries so that when the oil stopped, we can continue to have a functioning economy, an economy that's above water, a sustainable economy. Because when we were in the boom, we took the time to inject the revenue and the resources into other industries that are now functioning 100% and is able to sustain us as a country. Where is that? You mean sustain Susan Rodriguez and our apartment buildings? Again, micro works. Those are micro works, individual works. Where is the works of the masses? Where is the work that is being done for the masses? Nothing. Nothing. The people of Guyana is not even an afterthought. Shameful. 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 But like I would have said, and I'm going to say it again like yesterday, the entire opposition should have been together like yesterday. And I'm going to say this. There are some of the leaders in those parties in the opposition that still got some massive egos. You know, it's like when you call them, it's like you're calling God. No, man, stop. Stop. Any normal person in public should be able to call you. Who are you? Who are you? There are many that has watched this program, that has just pick up their messenger and call me and ask them. I would answer. And if I'm busy and I can't answer, I will call back. Who am I? I appreciate the calls that I receive. Come on, man. Come on. You can't want to lead and want to act that way. Who are you? How you want people must put their trust in you when you behave that way? You are a public servant. Is either you're serving the public or you're not serving them. It's one or the other. Call on ALP and the others. Hey, I don't really need to call on ALP. The Honorable former Member of Parliament, Ms. Simona Brooms, has made her position clear. She is ready for discussions. I don't need to say any further on that. She has been working, trying to pull people together. Simona Brooms gets full 100 points from me. Full 100 points from me. Nothing less. She has been working and she's got a track record of hard work. Maybe others need to take a look and take a page out of her book. One thing I would say about Win, because it was in public, it was a public statement. It wasn't a behind the back statement. Where Azzuddin Mohammed said that he would not work with APNU. Well, you know what I'll say to that? Azzuddin Mohammed, it seems as if you've changed your mind. It would be nice if you can walk back that statement with an apology. Because if you're bold to come out and say something, you should be bold enough to apologize to. Right? Nobody's above anything. Right? You can say that, look, my mind has changed and I am willing to work with APNU. We are going to work collectively as a team. We are going to share intelligence and knowledge. Let's go. And everybody get on board. Forward Guyana, AFC. Brother David Patterson, I know you're trying to do some work there with AFC, man. Please, no more hold-ups with you guys, man, because I think the Guyanese people might be true with you guys. With all the hold-ups and what would have happened with the last elections and stuff like that. That stuff is fresh. So when you guys come, you guys better be willing to come on and collaborate and not putting up a whole set of red cloth, red lines. Right? Please, man. Yes, Scarlet Rock. Unity is indeed strength. Like I said, 29 is more than 12. 29 is more than 16. 29 is more than 1. Yes. Yes, Miss Anjon, I agree with you. He said it on Melly Mel's live that he's willing to work with them, yes. But he should have also said that, it was a mistake to say that he would not have worked with them initially. Right? Because he's not above the law. He's a human being just like everybody else. Okay, Miss Anjon, I guess you were trying to say that he apologized. I didn't hear that. Joylyn Lee 1, Alexander, Mr. Mohammed is in the streets every day. Well, when you preemptively want to be the opposition leader, you got to do the work so that you can be in the eyes of the people. All right? So that you can get the people's vote. All right? Being in the street is one thing, and I agree, that's a great start. But getting the PPP to move is another thing. All right? Getting the PPP to move is another thing. So we're talking about two things, being in the streets. Yes, I have seen Brother Sekou Andrews out in the street. I have seen Dr. Campbell in the street, and they're working even and straight with Mr. Azzuddin Mohammed. Right? They're working even and straight with him. So it'll be good if we can see all who is in the street and we don't see just the rich people who are in the street. Right? Because I think that everybody is going to bring something to the table. And like I said before, let me make this clear. I want to make this lucidly clear. Money will not solve the issue of 60% in poverty. It is not a money issue. Please, guys, please be educated this evening. It is not a money issue. We can do a cash distribution for 1.5 million to every Guyanese, and it doesn't solve that issue. Do you guys agree with me? All right. Oh, Althea Jones, Althea Jones, how can I argue with your pick? The Honorable Sherrod Duncan, man, he's a boss. I think he's in Lethem. I think he's in Lethem somewhere today. I think the Honorable Sheriff Duncan is somewhere in Lethem. Look, you know something? Everybody have a right to their own opinion. All right? My opinion is that Sheriff Duncan as a politician is undervalued. We're not getting what we're capable of getting out of Sheriff Duncan. Why? Because we're not tapping into him. We overlook him a lot. That guy works. He has a relationship on the ground with the people. That's massive. Thank you, Mr. Ornis. If Mr. Ornis Elliott is a good judge of character and hard work, and if he's saying to me, MP Duncan is in the fields, I don't need to hear anything else. I don't need to hear anything else. Sheriff Duncan, I don't know if he's ever going to be given the opportunity to be leader, but he'll make a very, very good leader. A very good leader. Because it takes this skill of listening. As a leader, you got to listen, man. You got to be able to listen. Jason McDowell, my brother. Guyanese don't like hearing that word money. It get them confused. Let me tell you guys something. We gave out a cash distribution of $1.5 million to every Guyanese. We're looking at inflation through the roof. We are looking at inflation through the roof. I don't believe there's any way that our economy could withstand that. That's why I'm saying, yes, the cash distributions are important. And yes, they're going to play a role in alleviating poverty. But we also have to have the programs in place. We got to make sure that we're doing well as far as government spitting out jobs and the private sector spitting out jobs, right? We have to have a robust university system where our graduates, and not just the system, but when we have the graduates, they're able to go right into jobs. When you talk about 10-day workers and all of that, that should be for high school students who are doing excellent in school, and you can give them a little job to pull in a little bit of extra cash in their pocket and these type of things. It shouldn't be for a regular mother with 2 children and all these kind of things. What is that money going to do for her? How sustainable is that going to be for a normal mother and a family? Thank you, Lynn. Cash will not solve poverty. But it doesn't. I know. And Lynn, you heard me, right? That the small cash distributions is going to come in handy. Of course you need that. Money in hand got to play a role in that too. But again, this fight continues. This fight continues. All right? This fight continues. And we got to continue to lock arms. We got to continue to edify our brothers and sisters. All right? Because I understand the APNU when with their call to the Guyanese people, right? To defend the Constitution, right? But you want me to say something to you guys? You know, there are many Guyanese on the ground that are not educated when it comes to our Constitution. There's a lot of Guyanese on the ground that doesn't know their rights. So what I'll say to that, to the APNU, while this is an excellent suggestion, it would be nice to get out in the fields there and start edifying the people on the Constitution. Right? I think Mr. Victor Ben would have asked me, Wayne, where are all the constitutional lawyers? I think that's a question that Mr. Ben would have asked me. The APNU has a network, has a channel. Get some constitutional lawyers, and you guys start having programs on that channel. Send your constitutional lawyers to come over to you. I will give them an entire hour and a half to lecture the Guyanese people. I will do that. Yes, I will step to the side and allow the constitutional lawyer to take the floor. Hotel at Ogle open. You know what most Guyanese are going to be, born and bred Guyanese are going to be regulated to? Doing the gardening at the hotel, at Ogle and them other hotels with a little thing, cutting and making sure them plant got a good haircut and this kind of stuff with a little rake and thing. And someone was talking to me about a young lady that has multiple degrees from the University of Guyana. And she's doing some little inferior job somewhere because she can't find a job. She can't find a job. Yeah, Irfan Ali, she can't find a job. And you know what's funny, Irfan Ali? She's more educated than you. And she can't find a job. She's more educated than you, Mark Phillips Aliyal. And she can't find a job. How does that look? Victor Ben, we had this discussion. All right, I'm going to touch on it quick. So Victor want to talk about perishable foods. Means when you have your vegetables and stuff out of the market, whether it be your oranges and all of these kind of stuff. Right? And it doesn't sell. What do you do? What do you do? Well, I was in my conversation with Mr. Ben. I told him that we needed to have a couple of facilities that is able to package and freeze vegetables that we can use and distribute to the wider Caribbean for sale, amongst other things. But how can we have these facilities with flickering lights? Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, the lights are flickering more than our Christmas lights. Mr. Ben, that's an excellent idea. But like most things, Guyana is not ready for it. Guyana is not ready for e-classrooms and all of that. You going into your e-classroom, blackout, internet down, everything. Teacher fail you for non-attendance or for missing 3 classes because of blackout and internet in Guyana. And you guys, PPP, want to play like if they rolling out stuff and like if they're so innovative. You know when you're going to become innovative? When you are leveraging those 29 seats in the opposition to get their ideas, and then as a collective you guys presenting, that is when you're going to have an impact. Okay? But you guys don't understand. You guys, I'm sorry I have to say this, ladies and gentlemen. On the PPP side, they are so dense, man. They are so dense. You guys are not smart. If you guys were smart, there's no way we would have had a 60% poverty rate in a booming economy, fastest growing economy in the world, and you have a 60% poverty rate. Make that make sense. You are just not bright. You're not smart. There is no way that I would have the resources that you guys have at hand and have a 60% poverty rate. If I would have had a 10% poverty rate, I would have called that I would have called that material. We have less than 1 million people, ladies and gentlemen. No one should be in poverty in Guyana. Haiti have a 60% poverty rate, but Haiti have 12 million people. Don Prophet, the oil course. I cannot argue with you, Ms. Prophet. I cannot argue with you. How can I? Oil has definitely been a course to the Guyanese people. What equity have they gained from oil? What have they gained from oil? All they would have done is sat down and watch the ministers of the PPP get rich. I see one of you guys, I was going through some comments, and this was related to Susan Rodriguez. And a particular minister in the opposition was called out. Oh, y'all gonna see how she built her house. That minister got one house. I know the minister. That minister got one house. If you're a minister, you should be capable of building a house. The minister didn't even got a mansion. The minister got one regular house. And PPP supporters want to know how she get money to build a house. You cannot compare that minister with Susan Rodriguez. Man, look, the PPP need to do a better job teaching their people, man. Because they can't even spell, they can't even write, they can't do anything, man. Y'all got to teach them people to spell right and all that. I'm tired of seeing APNU supporters and WIN supporters teaching people English. Beverly Ann Romaine, corruption is a word for the PPP. Corruption needs to be allowed in Parliament. Why are you disbanding corruption from Parliament? Well, Manzo, you may not like to hear the utterances of the word corruption because you yourself is corrupt. Had you guys given Guyana Power and Light, the APNU or the opposition, and tell them, yeah, run with that, fix that, we would have been having light in our house every night, 24/7 power. Y'all thief too much, man. You know something, guys? You guys think I'm upset tonight? You wouldn't want to see me if ever and when this opposition gets into power and decides that they're letting the PPP ministers them just slide. You wouldn't want to see me. You wouldn't want to see me. Because then my assertion would be that everybody's in bed together and they're showing up to do the same exact thing that the PPP did. Like I said before, I know this. Nobody ain't got to tell me. Both sides don't like me. I know that. Nobody, but I'm going to come here and I'm going to speak the truth. We're going to come here and we're going to talk about what needs to be done. This is not about keeping friendships. This is about belling the cat and getting everybody to work. The Guyanese people fed up. Yes, Jailin, they're fed up. They're fed up. You hear the introduction song that say, right? People fed up, man. They're tired. Then you want to know why you don't have voter turnouts and these kind of things. People tired. People are tired. Come on, man. How long you gonna do? They went through 23 years of this. They went through 23 years of this. No, like another of you would have just posted, the oil course came along. And it didn't get better, it get worse. Oil hasn't done anything for the people of Guyana. Things have gotten worse. Things are more expensive, everything. Inflation is through the roof. The government have done nothing to temper inflation. But yet, people post a picture with them and their family for Christmas. How could I do that? That would be disingenuous of me. 60% of my people in poverty. Inflation is through the roof. Cost of living is through the roof. And I posting up picture me skinning me teeth and hugging up my wife and doing all of what? Man, these guys are joking. Guyanese, y'all need to get serious. Whenever y'all decide to come out and shut y'all country down, I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all. Come on. Come on. You got big, huge economies encouraging the people of Iran to shut the country down. You got big economies encouraging the people of Iran to shut the country down. You guys in Guyana have been going through this much too long. Much too long. By the time you all finish, if you all keep with this past year, we ain't gonna get young people in Guyana. We are not going to have young people in Guyana, especially young African Guyanese. We're not gonna have them because their life is not worth anything. The most you'll get for African life is 24 million. Right? Hey, I'm just saying it like it is. Ain't no holding back nothing. Ain't no holding back. The last 5 years, I feel like if it was a waste of time. I feel like if it was a waste of time. We got to do way better. We have to do way better. We have to. You cannot allow Claudette Singh to hold down the democracy of Macro Guyana. You cannot allow one woman to take away your democracy. You know something? Let me say this to you guys. You see, I don't want to say this on this show. It's coming down to closing time. But Lorraine Walcott, we gonna have this conversation. And feel free to call me on Messenger. All right, feel free to call me on Messenger. We're gonna have this conversation because what you opening up right now is something that I would need time for, and we only have 3 minutes left. And I gotta stick to the time, okay? Though y'all don't want me to get in trouble, okay? So we got to stick to the time. I see Gavin Seas is here. He can cut me off at any time. But I hope they will allow me the latitude to close off here. We have 3 minutes to go. I want to thank all of you guys for your participation. There's more stuff for us to elaborate on that we didn't get to tonight. Right? We're going to discuss and John want to fight me. Oh my God. Oh, come on. Yeah. That we're going to elaborate on next week. Right? But to the question that was asked, I would love to be on the ground in Guyana. But at the same time, it would be very arrogant and stupid of me to put my life on the line. You know, the amount of people that I already help and do stuff for. You know, I don't think it would be fair to them. You understand me? And it would be fair to my family, right? And I've always complained about the opposition not having proper protections in place for their people. Just to put a quick summation on that, on what I think, right? We have to be protected. Of course, if I'm on the ground and it would be major impact. I can tell you that right off the bat. Young people need someone to speak with them that would bring about a measure of hope, man. Trust me. And I truly love people. I truly love and care for people. I don't play around when it comes to human life. Okay? It's the most important thing I believe. Okay? And every day that we're here, we should be thankful for it. All right? Rhonda Lane is saying that's why I will not be going back on their ad. I guess she would not be doing that protesting stuff. Denise Booker is saying I need another night. Miss Booker, you're gonna try and work and negotiate that additional night for me. I listen, guys. I would love to. We will see what will happen. All right. Maybe it's something that I can bring up and let's see what will happen. Okay. But we need to keep having these conversations. And these conversations, what I love about them, they're not one way. You guys are equally involved. You guys give me things that we can talk about, and look, we dig in. Okay. Sometimes we get very emotional, but that's just the way it is. We want the best for our country. We love and care for our country. All right. So it's now 8:30 on the dot. We don't want to be late. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for your participation this evening as you go through the highways and byways, whether you're driving or whether you're just a pedestrian. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you're driving, don't just drive for yourself. Drive for everyone else around you. Down on the ground in Guyana, let's be a little more careful on the streets, on the roads, on the highways, okay? And if you're going clubbing, man, leave your firearm at home. We don't need to be killing people. Come on, let's stop it. All right, let's stop the killing. Let's stop the killing. Parents, keep your children inside. Talk to your children. Try to have one meal with them at least per week. If you can do more, do more. It is important for you guys to have these critical conversations, okay? Until next week, love you, love you, love you. Over to you. Good night.
Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep